What can Miami do to now leverage this, and how can it take the attention it's got, some of it true, some of it false, some of it hype, some of it smoke and mirrors, but whatever we want to call it, how does it take what it's built in the arts and cultural area, and how does it leverage it for further growth and development and the ability to attract more and better talent and build a more resilient?
What we found was actually Miami has the 11th largest creative class, but when we start to look at the share of the workforce, actually Miami's quite follows, and a lot of the other loses behind many of its peers. It ranks like 26th across the country, so Miami's got a bit of a ways to go in terms of the share of its workforce. We also found that Miami has some challenges with wages. It ranks about 48th out of all 50 metropolitan areas in the country, so it's challenged on wages. But some of the positive things that we found is actually Miami's got a great opportunity for talent. It's the 9th largest college town when we look at the number of college students. It has a large number of college degrees that are coming out. We've got a large amount of faculty members that are participating in our research institutions in Miami. So there's a lot of opportunity thinking about Miami's talent going forward, and that's the key sort of finding of the research brief.
So we've been working on this for a lot of years, and I think it's really coming to fruition that business now, developers, but also business leaders are seeing that the value that the arts, cultural tourism, all of the outreach, the visibility that the arts bring to the community has a valid economic impact.
You have the 4 pillars, which concept was one of them. We needed density, we needed mixed use, we needed public transportation, which this area was one of the only ones that really had it. A lot of people call this the last station of the Metro Mover. I call it the first station of the Metro Mover.
Miami has now reached a point where it's a serious global city. It has a great airport, it has great universities, it has a population of 5.5 million, and it has certain strengths and it has certain weaknesses. And one of its weaknesses has been its ability to attract this group called the creative class. It's lagged on that. The creative class are not just art people and cultural people, entertainment and media people. They're people who work in science and technology, entrepreneurship, innovation, business and management. And Miami has been a laggard in that.
300 communities that participated. I am excited to announce that we are the top 3 cities, counties in the country for the economic impact of the arts in our community.
Development of Miami occurred after the car was invented and really after air conditioning too. I mean, it really, after World War II is when Miami developed as a city.
Arts and cultures are an important part of a social and economic good and provide a social and economic benefit to our communities. In Miami, our arts and cultural scene is strong and vibrant, especially here in Wynwood.
Over the past 20 years, arts and culture have really become a fundamental driver of economic development and urban regeneration. There was a time when people thought if you had a great city and people moved to that city and there were jobs and companies, well, then there was philanthropy and funding and rich people and they bought arts and culture. One of the things our research has shown is that places that have a great science and technology community, a great entrepreneurial community, a great business community, but also a great arts and cultural community have an added additional spark to condition economic development. But, and this is a big but, more recently what seems to have happened as artists and cultural and the creative class and the creative community has spurred economic development, people have wanted to come back to cities. Urban areas like this one have revitalized. We just heard about this neighborhood. Land used to sell for $100 a square foot, and then $100, and then $200, and then $400. So as land prices have become more expensive, sometimes the arts and creative community starts to get pushed out. And that's what I call the new urban crisis.